Beyond True Beauty, exploring the emotional depth of Eunwoo and Ga Young's partnership. When True Beauty first aired, audiences expected another sweet, visually pleasing K-drama that would blend comedy, romance, and the trials of youth. What they didn't anticipate was the profound connection that would emerge between two of its leads, Cha Eunwoo and Moon Ga Young. Their on-screen partnership quickly transcended the boundaries of a typical drama, turning into something that felt far more layered, far more emotional, and undeniably real. Fans across the globe were captivated not only by their chemistry but also by the subtle emotional depth both actors poured into their roles. But what makes their partnership so extraordinary? Why does the bond between Eunwoo and Ga Young resonate long after the cameras stop rolling? To answer these questions, one must look beyond the surface beauty, the picture-perfect visuals, and the K-drama glow. Their collaboration reveals something more enduring, a partnership grounded in mutual respect, shared vulnerability, and an unspoken emotional understanding that breathes authenticity into every scene they share. In the entertainment world, it's common to see actors paired for their looks, especially in youth-centered dramas. Cha Eunwoo and Moon Ga Young are undeniably stunning, and it would have been easy for their partnership to remain confined to surface-level admiration. Yet, what distinguished them was how they turned physical beauty into a foundation rather than a destination. Eunwoo, often dubbed the face genius for his striking visuals, could have easily been overshadowed by the stereotypes that come with such titles. Ga Young, on the other hand, has long been admired for her graceful presence and expressive features. But instead of leaning only on their appearances, they used their acting to peel back layers of emotional reality. Together, they created characters whose relationship was not just believable but deeply relatable. Their chemistry didn't just sparkle, it resonated. It wasn't about two beautiful people sharing a frame, it was about two souls navigating vulnerability, fear, healing, and love. That emotional authenticity is what elevated them beyond other co-star pairings. One of the most remarkable things about Eunwoo and Ga Young's dynamic is the way they communicate without words. Many fans recall moments in True Beauty where a lingering glance or a silent pause spoke volumes. These weren't accidental, they were carefully crafted choices rooted in their mutual understanding as actors. For instance, Eunwoo's portrayal of Suho was often characterized by restraint. His silence wasn't emptiness, it was full of suppressed emotion, of words left unspoken. Ga Young, as Ju-kyung, counterbalanced this by offering emotional openness. Her warmth softened his reserve, creating a balance that felt natural. Together, they built a rhythm where even silence had weight, where every shared look deepened the audience's connection to their story. This ability to create a rich emotional dialogue without speaking is rare, and it reflects the depth of their professional synergy. Fans didn't just watch their performances, they felt them. On-screen chemistry doesn't happen in a vacuum. It is often the product of trust and respect off-screen, and Eunwoo and Ga Young's behind-the-scenes dynamic reveals exactly that. Interviews, candid moments, and fan-recorded footage show a partnership marked by mutual encouragement. Eunwoo has openly acknowledged Ga Young's skill and presence, often crediting her for grounding him in emotionally demanding scenes. Ga Young, in turn, has praised Eunwoo's discipline and sensitivity. This balance of admiration creates an environment where both feel safe to explore vulnerability, a crucial element in bringing authenticity to emotional performances. Fans often remark how their off-screen friendship mirrors the emotional trust their characters shared. That foundation of respect allows them to push boundaries in their roles without fear of judgment, giving rise to the profound emotional resonance that audiences cherish. One of the most powerful aspects of their partnership is the way it mirrors themes of healing. True Beauty wasn't just a light-hearted romance, it tackled issues of self-worth, insecurity, and the struggle of living under the gaze of others. These themes required a sensitive and nuanced approach, which both Eunwoo and Ga Young delivered masterfully. Eunwoo's character, Suho, carried emotional scars of grief and isolation, while Ga Young's Ju-kyung embodied the struggles of insecurity and self-acceptance. Watching their characters heal each other wasn't just a scripted romance, it became an emotionally resonant journey that many viewers saw themselves in. Their ability to convey pain, vulnerability, and eventual healing allowed fans to process their own struggles alongside the characters. It's here that the emotional depth of their partnership becomes most evident. Beyond delivering a performance, they created a safe emotional space for their audience, a testament to their profound influence as a duo. The impact of Eunwoo and Ga Young's partnership didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. Fans continue to celebrate their connection years after True Beauty aired. Social media is filled with fan edits, essays, and discussions dissecting their interactions. Many point out that their chemistry feels too real to ignore, a sentiment that has kept the duo in public imagination long after their drama concluded. Part of this ongoing resonance stems from the fact that Eunwoo and Ga Young never oversell their partnership. They don't rely on flashy displays or exaggerated gestures. Instead, they let authenticity speak for itself, creating a timeless quality that fans can revisit again and again. Another dimension of their partnership lies in how it has contributed to their growth as artists. For Eunwoo, who has often been under pressure to prove himself beyond his looks, working alongside Ga Young offered an opportunity to show deeper acting range. Ga Young's ability to anchor emotional scenes allowed him to explore vulnerability with confidence. For Ga Young, sharing the screen with Eunwoo gave her a partner who respected her emotional leadership while offering a presence strong enough to balance her warmth. The result was a dynamic where both actors grew not as individuals, but as collaborators whose careers were enriched by the depth of their shared storytelling. This mutual evolution ensures that their partnership is remembered not just as a fleeting spark but as a meaningful chapter in their artistic journeys. The emotional depth Eunwoo and Ga Young achieved in True Beauty has left fans clamoring for a reunion. The idea of seeing them in another project, perhaps in a more mature setting or in a genre that allows even greater emotional exploration, remains a dream for many. Why? Because audiences don't just want to see them together, they want to feel the emotional resonance they create. Their ability to transform even simple moments into profound exchanges has convinced fans that their partnership is not just situational, but timeless. Ultimately, the magic of Eunwoo and Ga Young lies in their ability to move beyond the superficial. They are more than co-stars, more than a visual pairing. They represent a rare kind of artistic partnership that thrives on emotional honesty, mutual respect, and the courage to be vulnerable together. When we first peeled back the layers of Cha Eunwoo and Moon Ga Young's partnership in True Beauty, it became clear that their magic went beyond visuals. They built something grounded in trust, vulnerability, and emotional resonance. But to fully appreciate why fans continue to rave about their chemistry, we need to revisit the drama itself, not in broad strokes, but in the unforgettable, goosebump-inducing moments that revealed the true depth of their connection. One of the most iconic scenes in True Beauty was Suho's rooftop confession to Ju-kyung. On paper, it was a simple moment, boy admits feelings to girl. But in execution, Eunwoo and Ga Young elevated it into something that transcended cliché. The way Eunwoo delivered Suho's vulnerability, hesitant, his voice trembling slightly as if afraid of rejection, was beautifully balanced by Ga Young's warmth. Her reaction wasn't just scripted joy, it carried layers of relief, disbelief, and gratitude. Fans noticed the small details, Ga Young's tear-filled eyes, Eunwoo's tentative half-smile, and the silence that lingered between them before they embraced. This wasn't acting that relied on grand gestures. It was intimacy built on restraint, a performance that made viewers feel as though they were intruding on something real. Many fans admit to re-watching the scene not just for its romance, but for the unspoken emotional honesty it carried. If the rooftop scene showed the thrill of love, the library scene revealed the comfort of companionship. In this quiet moment, Suho found solace in Ju-kyung's presence while wrestling with his grief over his father and the wounds of his past. Here, Eunwoo's stillness became a language of its own. His downcast eyes, the way he fidgeted with a book, and his reluctance to open up painted a picture of bottled pain. Ga Young responded not with forced cheer, but with gentle persistence. She didn't try to fix him, she simply stayed by his side. The beauty of this scene lies in its relatability. Healing doesn't always happen through dramatic speeches, sometimes, it's the quiet company of someone who refuses to leave. Together, Eunwoo and Ga Young turned a simple setting, a library, into a sanctuary for emotional connection. Few moments captured the tenderness of their partnership better than the late-night bus ride scene. Ju-kyung, exhausted and weighed down by insecurities, leaned against Suho's shoulder. What could have been a standard romantic gesture scene became something far more layered because of how Eunwoo and Ga-young chose to portray it. Instead of stiff formality, Eunwoo subtly adjusted his posture, tilting his head ever so slightly to make her comfortable. Ga-young, in turn, allowed her expression to relax, her guard down completely as if she trusted him with her truest self. For fans, this was one of the defining catchy scenes of the show. It wasn't loud or dramatic, but it resonated deeply because of how naturally it unfolded. The scene felt less like acting and more like two people finding comfort in each other. Another unforgettable highlight was Suho and Ju-kyung's confrontation after misunderstandings and emotional walls piled up between them. This scene required both actors to dig deep emotionally, and they delivered performances that left fans in tears. Eunwoo's controlled anger, more wounded than furious, was balanced by Ga-young's emotional pleas. She wasn't just begging for understanding, she was bearing her insecurities, her fear of being unworthy. The way Eunwoo's expression softened mid-argument, shifting from frustration to sorrow, showed the nuance of his acting. Fans described this moment as heart-wrenching because it mirrored real relationships, misunderstandings, pride, and the courage it takes to lower defenses. It highlighted Eunwoo and Ga-young's ability to portray not just the sweetness of love, but the raw, uncomfortable truths that come with it. Romantic dramas often use rain as a backdrop for emotional breakthroughs, but Eunwoo and Ga-young made their rain scene feel refreshing and alive. As Suho shielded Ju-kyung under his umbrella, the visual beauty was undeniable, but what made it unforgettable was the way they performed it. Eunwoo's protective gestures weren't exaggerated, they were instinctive, as though Suho had always been wired to protect Ju-kyung. Ga-young's shy smiles and the way she leaned into his presence carried both playfulness and reassurance. This wasn't just about romance, it symbolized renewal. Rain washed away Ju-kyung's insecurities and Suho's loneliness, leaving them with a bond that felt unshakable. The emotional resonance of this scene continues to live on in fan edits that rack up millions of views online. The reason these moments remain etched in memory is because they resonate with viewers on a deeply personal level. Fans didn't just watch Ju-kyung and Suho, they saw themselves in their struggles and healing. For those battling insecurities, Ju-kyung's vulnerability felt validating. For those carrying grief, Suho's silence mirrored their own inner battles. For those longing for safe love, their relationship was a reminder that acceptance and healing are possible. Eunwoo and Ga-young gave these themes flesh and soul, creating a mirror through which viewers could process their own emotions. That's why fan communities remain so passionate, discussing even the smallest of their gestures years later. Looking back, it becomes clear that Eunwoo and Ga-young weren't just following a script. They were building a story of emotional resonance that transcended fiction. Every scene they shared, whether joyous or heartbreaking, carried a truth that audiences felt in their bones. Their partnership teaches us that emotional depth in storytelling doesn't come from flashy dramatics alone. It comes from trust between co-stars, from subtlety, and from the willingness to be vulnerable in front of the camera. Eunwoo and Ga-young embraced that fully, giving fans a timeless love story that continues to inspire. Conclusion: the timeless echo of their partnership. In exploring the specific, catchy scenes of True Beauty, one thing becomes crystal clear. Eunwoo and Ga-young's partnership wasn't just about creating romantic sparks, it was about weaving emotional truth into every frame. From rooftop confessions to quiet bus rides, from painful confrontations to rain-soaked renewal, they gave us moments that felt achingly real. And perhaps that's why fans still revisit their story. Because in the vulnerability, in the silence, in the shared glances, we find something universal: the longing to be seen, understood, and loved.